Harsh, don't drink, my friend.
It would be hilarious to see you drunk. So
I
whenever
have
people
never
get
been
drunk,
drunk.
you will see two sides. One person gets super friendly, and they'll be just saying hello to everyone, hugging everyone, the friendly one, and the other person, they get furious. Their mask comes off. They start to do a lot of these power plays. So I wonder which drunk you would be if you ever did get drunk.
I don't know. I just hope it's not the type where they do a weird drunk dance that gets filmed and put everywhere as a funny dance.
I feel like that would be your sort of drunk. You just start busting out bungalow moves.
Who knows, man? There's
Man,
a reason why I don't drink.
I've met so many folks that are very calm face to face, but whenever they get drunk, dude, their little man syndrome comes out, and they start to yell at folks. One time, I saw this very tiny guy. He looks like Harry Potter. He spit on a bouncer when he got drunk, and he's so little that this bouncer just punched him on the face. This little guy fell on the ground. He twisted his teeth, and he had to wear braces for the next 4 years.
For years.
Yeah, so when you get
That's a
drunk, you do
nice
a.
reminder to not spit on a bouncer's face.
You would think that that would make him stop drinking, but he just used wine to unwind the nights. Now, instead of the main lesson he got is when you drink, don't go to a club. Just drink at your crib now. That's the lesson you got.
What's the legality of all this in the sense, for example, let's say somebody gets drunk and they spit on a bouncer, and the bouncer say breaks their face like this and gives them some serious injury. Can the bouncer go to jail for this?
The bouncer could face some lawsuits because some of the folks that they attack actually are well versed in law. So I don't know if the case is going to go anywhere, but the bouncer can definitely find themselves in some sort of lawsuit.
Why did your friend not sue the bouncer?
I don't know. It's never too late, man, because this guy is actually a lawyer. He's an immigration lawyer, though. But I think he understood that he was in the wrong because in that span of his life, he was burning a lot of relationships due to being drunk. And since he's such a little guy, he could get drunk by just taking two shots. Where I know you don't drink, but since you're a big guy, it would take you at least 4 to 6 shots to feel it. Where a little guy, they could feel it immediately. So he thinks he's just having a casual night out, but the little amount of drinks is just making his mask fall off. You would never predict it either, right? This is a very, very sociable individual. So you would never think that that's the kind of drunk that he becomes.
Interesting. I remember going out with a couple of my friends a few years ago, and one of them, he ordered 4 shots. And I'm not even joking. He paid like 5,000 rupees for 4 shots. And back then, this was maybe 80 bucks, $80. And what he got was these tiny cups of, alcohol that he drank in like 5 seconds.
Are you drinking by
Dude
himself?
just drank, yeah, by himself. Dude drank $80 worth of drink in 5 seconds. I'm like, the fuck is the concept of this? You
That's
can't
so
even
insane.
taste what you drunk in that speed.
They're not trying to taste it, man. They're trying to feel the effects of it. It is
Then why are there
mathematically.
different shots? In the sense you get different types of shots. If you don't taste it, then why do they exist?
So it depends what you want from your alcohol experience. Some people get a mixed drink. If you get a mixed drink, that means you're just trying to sip and enjoy it throughout the night. But if someone is trying to get a shot, that means they're trying to get drunk. Now, why are there different price points? Here's why. The cheap alcohol will get you drunk very quick, but the next morning, you're going to feel a strong hangover. You're going to get a headache and you're just going to wonder, why did I drink at all? But the expensive shots, it'll also get you drunk, but the next morning, you're not going to feel a strong hangover. So that's why the price points are different. A lot of folks are saying, oh, whatever, I don't care about the hangover. So they vibe with the cheap alcohol. And this is why the whole concept of actually drinking in the club is one of the dumbest concepts out there because you could easily spend $240 just by hopping in three clubs. So that's why the concept of pre-parties exist, where you can buy 3 bottles for $80 and you could get way more shots out of 3 bottles than just getting uh, shots bought solo in a club.
I see. So the pre-party would be where you get drunk and then go to the club.
Yeah, and people don't really get drunk in the pre-party; they get tipsy. So the tipsy is the warm up to getting drunk. And once you're tipsy, now if you go to the club, it's also a flex when you're buying shots. Like if you're with a crew and you say, "Hey, this round is on me," your crew views you in an elevated light. They're like, "Oh, he got it like that, huh?" To buy an entire round. So that's the language that folks in the club use. Hey, this round is on me. Now, if you have girls around, that's another reason to buy drinks at the club. The pregame, I recommend mainly so you don't end up spending so much money at the club. Then there's the
Man,
after
what
party
kind of
too.
retard are spending their money on drinks and shots for everybody?
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, I think every friend from a crew eventually has their growth phase where they say, you know what? This is BS. And I realized when it was BS when I bought my first ever custom fit suit. I bought the suit for $1,000. And I recall a few of the folks that were clubbers, they're like, $1,000? How could you waste your money on a suit for $1,000? I'm like, dude, 3 nights out for clubs with you spend $1,000, but I have something to show for it. You don't. And it
Whoa,
just puts,
clubbing is expensive in your country. That's insane. It's a
it
good
depends
thing I
on
don't
which club.
drink.
Yeah. Depends which club. It depends which club. Because if you go to one of those expensive clubs, things are very high end. But if you go to one of these cheap low key clubs, you could get away spending $20 for the night. And some nights there's themes as well, like all you can drink Friday. So you spend $10 in the entrance. They give you a cup, and you can fill up that cup with drinks throughout the entire night.
One time a friend of mine and I were going somewhere and it was late at night and you were getting really hungry. The only place that was open that had a restaurant was this club. And this club was asking us $100 to get inside.
$100
I
or 100
uh,
rupees?
$100.
Eh,
Yeah, it's like what
dang.
the fuck?
Hmm.
And for us, $100 was not a lot of money. Like we could pay that easily and eat inside. But as a matter of principle, I'm not gonna pay to go inside a place just to pay more to buy things there. Like it's just against my principles. So we were like, screw this. We'll find somewhere else to eat. Fuck you guys. Just because we're men does not mean we're gonna pay more to enter your place.
Oh yeah, man. If you had some ladies with you, they may have reduced it to $80 for you, but let the ladies in for free. But you would have had to pay regardless. That's the life of a
Yeah,
man going to these clubs, man. You're not going to get that many perks.
I'm not gonna pay for entering an establishment and then
Hmm.
specifically just for the entry fee. If it was
Hmm.
like okay, you pay $100 and then you can order food worth $100 and then you won't have to pay for the food, then I would be fine. It would be like okay, an advance payment for the food we're gonna order, but paying just to enter, no.
Right, man. I went with to a club one time with one of my girl cousins. She was in town, and a lot of guys find this girl cousin of mine very appealing. So she would just say, Arman, watch what it's like to be a pretty girl. Dude, she just had to look strategically at a guy's face like this, like, then look away. And then the guy would come to her. He'd ask her, what kind of drink do you want? She'd say the drink. He'd pay for it. And then she'd just give him the cold shoulder. And she repeated this 3 times throughout the night. I was like, dang, man, you got some game. And her game literally consisted of her looking at men, then looking away.
Man, I wonder if we can start a club like this and have a bunch of girls whose entire job is to just look at men and then look away and get them to buy a lot of drinks and give these girls a small commission on drinks.
That's too funny, man, because it would work. All right, business
Like,
idea for our listeners.
I don't even give a shit about, you know, any of this, but it seems like a good idea. Where if you're a hot girl, you could go to these expensive clubs and maybe negotiate a deal. I'm going to show up to your club every day and I'm going to chat guys into buying lots of drinks and what have you. And you can pay me $300 a night or whatever just for showing up.
That would legitimately work because most guys, why do you think they're going to the clubs? Do you think they're really just going to listen to music and dance? No, they're most likely going to the club so they could talk with some girls. So if you have girls with the sole intention of flirting with these men or just looking at them, a lot of them are going to bite.
Yeah, you could even import girls for this in the sense, let's say that you have a couple girls visiting, tourists or what have you, and be
Hmm.
like, okay, so you visit our club, the food is on you for free if you can convince 10 people to get a drink or something like that. And I'm sure a bunch of girls would be happy to do that.
Yeah, it would definitely work. And this is the whole concept of when girls go out by themselves, just a bunch of girls going to the club night, and they're like, oh, it's just ladies' night. You think it's ladies' night, but a bunch of guys are going to be approaching you. So there's some debate. Should a girl that's in a relationship ever have these girl nights at clubs? And it's a polarized debate where a lot of the girls say, well, I'm just going with my girls to dance. But their boyfriends are like, yeah, you're going there to dance. But a lot of guys are literally going to the club to get laid and they don't know that you're in a relationship. They're going to assume that you're single simply because you're in a club and they're going to try to flirt with you. And since it's so crowded, I mean, there's just accidental grinding happening when you're trying to, weasel yourself into the bathrooms or just walk around in the club. So a lot of guys are, capitalizing on this. They're trying to like squeeze through and they're feeling up a girl on the way. So a lot of boyfriends do not want their girls ever going to a club, especially for a girls' night out.
Man, if you are a guy and you let your girl go to a club alone, I don't know what to say to you. It's
Some
like
girls
this,
will
okay?
fight for this, dude. Some girls will fight for this. They'll be like, "Well, this is my freedom. I'm only going to dance," and they're going to die on this hill. Like they
No,
don't
if you're gonna
understand the guy's perspective at all. At
see,
times,
if I get you and I get the girl's perspective too, but if a girl wants to go dancing in clubs, she can't be dating me. There
right?
are plenty
That's
of
a deal
guys
breaker.
that are okay with it, but not me.
Is that enough for you to dump the girl?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I think this is something that would show up early on, so I would know for a fact before I would actually get into something serious with this girl.
Hmm.
But if you think about it, what's actually happening in a club? You're dressing skimpily and going to dance in a loud club environment. It's like this, okay? If you have good food, why would you let the good food go and sit on a bad, dirty plate for some time, then come back?
That's true. Good
Right?
analogy.
That's gonna make your food dirty. So why would you do that? At the end of the
Yeah,
day,
man.
no one goes to a club just for dancing. I mean, maybe some girls do, but no guy ever said, "Hey, I just want to dance. Let me go to a club." No, not one guy, not one.
Oh, and another thing with guys that they need to be worried about. I could tell how serious someone is about their self improvement journey based on how often they're going to the clubs. So pre self improvement, for a lot of guys, they're going to the club every Friday. So a lot of guys are going to the clubs on Fridays and some even on the weekends. But every now and then, those folks that improve on the self improvement aspect of their life are like, you know what? I'm gonna cut this out because here's what happens when you're a guy and you are consistently going to clubs. What's gonna happen every now and then is that a brawl can happen, a fight of some sort. Because let's say you're a guy, you go up to a girl that is giving you one of these looks and you start flirting with her. And then later on, you find out that she's dating someone and her boyfriend is in the club. He's going to push you. He's going to be like, why are you hitting on my girl for? And now suddenly there could be a scuffle that happens. So if you're a guy that is consistently going to clubs, do not be surprised if you get in some sort of scuffle, fight, even arrested.
Interesting. I wonder what happens if you say you identify as a woman and then try to avoid the cover fee.
Man, that's something that,
Needs to be tested.
damn, it
And then
needs
you
to be
could put it on
tested.
social media, like, I was not allowed in because I am a trans person. Oh man, that might actually work. Someone needs to test this. Okay, $10 for anyone, or let's make it big, $100 for anybody who tests this. Let's say that you have to record a video of you going to a club, and the bouncer asks you for a cover charge or what have you, and then you identify as a woman, and then let's see what happens. Send the video to admin@lifemathmoney.com, and we'll take it from there. Of course, we'll own the video, so you'll have to give us rights to publish it on our socials. But it would be an interesting experiment to do.
It would. And I would recommend whoever is going to take up this challenge, go to a bigger club because they have more to lose. So if you say, if you're not going to let me in, even though I'm identifying as a woman, I'm going to blast you on social media, they have a lot to lose, where these hole in the wall clubs don't really give a shit. So try to
Yeah,
go
it
to a
has to
big
be a
club.
big club who can lose
Big
a
club.
lot.
Yeah. Man, dude, that's actually a very interesting idea because I have not seen the club atmosphere get infiltrated with any of the like I identify as X, Y, and Z, even though that's the perfect place to infiltrate that environment with.
Man, if you can save $100 to enter a club just by identifying as a woman, I'm sure every single guy out there is identifying as a woman. So,
You should do it, man. The next time you're hungry, there's no food places around. Harshina
yeah,
returns. Harsh by day, Harshina
literally,
by night.
Harsh by day, Harshina by night. That's the life.